Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Debbie Cook, number 29. Debbie Cook then called again to tell me I had not yet made $1 million. Per their account, it was only $960,000. I told her by my count it was $1,040,000. That was it. I refused to give any more. 30. At this time, my family began expressing concerns for my mental state, saying they believed I was crazy for throwing money away, all of my money to Scientology. One relative was trying to convince my attorneys that I was completely insane. There's a shred of truth to that. This created a great deal of difficulty for me. At this time, I decided to never return to work at Flag. My life was a living hell. And what does the hell revolve around? Debbie Cook. Imagine what the kids were going through. 31. I called Debbie Cook and told her I was not coming back to work. 3 days later, John Lundeen arrived at my home with Chiara. These two insisted I pay the remainder of money to make my donation for $1 million. This is all about power. This was insane. I could stand it no more. I told them to take any money they wanted. I didn't care. My nerves were gone at this point. I was totally broken. I gave them another $50,000. I know what they needed. $32. As far as leaving staff, I wanted to do it properly, which, by the way, Scientologists, if you're listening, routing out doesn't do anything. They're still going to probably kick you out and try to make you pay debt that's not legal to make you pay. I wanted to do it properly per the policies of the FSO. So I returned in January or February of 1994 to route out. I expected this to take about 1 week. It took 2 months. Yeah, because they torture you. They enjoy torturing people. This organization did a board of investigation on me because I wanted to leave staff. This is after they got $1 million of hers, her last penny. The result of this action was that I was not qualified for the Sea Org. Of course not. Therefore, they now kicked me out. See? Man, words weren't more on point. After all of the money I had given them and all of the auditing I had done in my high training, I was found not qualified. It's a narcissist dream, you know. 33. Also, while I was doing this routing out, I noticed that there was not one Italian in the class 8 classroom studying. It's maybe prejudicial. This is what I had told. This is what I had paid the $1 million for. I had been told that my donations were for Italians. Yet in the course room were all kinds of people but Italians. I went to Debbie Cook and told her she had lied to me. I said right then that I wanted all of my money back. Debbie responded that they were, at the point in time, translating the material into Italian, so my money could be used to free Italians. 2 years later, materials were still not translated into Italian. 34. When I finally returned to Italy, I found my situation was terrible. My attorney told me to sell the family villa. All the money was gone, and I could no longer afford it. I sold the villa and gave some of this money to my granddaughter and about $500,000 to my son-in-law. 35. At the end of At the end of 1994, I returned to Clearwater to sell a condo I owned in Island Estates. At that time, I went to the Fort Harrison to visit Chiara. When I walked in, a registrar for the Superpower Project, Charmaine, and another registrar for special properties grabbed me and sat me down. Wow. They asked me for money. I said no, but they would not let me leave. More kidnapping. I was at this point completely unable to deal with these demands for money. Even though I knew it was harming me, I gave $20,000 to Charmaine for Superpower Project. I then went to Chiara's house and hid out. Wow. So it sounds like Chiara tried to help her. 36. After I sold my condo, I went to AmSouth Bank to get some money. When I came out of the bank, 2 officers from Scientology, Special Properties in Los Angeles, were waiting for me. Imagine that the Clearwater police are aware of all this stuff. Isn't that great? Isn't that crazy? They wanted money to help put LRH materials into titanium. And you're telling me that these people don't know that they're conning people? LRH materials into titanium so it could be preserved for eternity. Isn't that supposedly where Shelley Miscavige is? Like, keeping all that clean and all that stuff? They asked me to come to the top floor of the Fort Harrison to see the new special properties. I just wanted to go to Italy now. I had my ticket in my pocket. I still had to empty my condo and get out. I asked them to leave me be. I told them to leave me alone or I would die here in America. But they said, let's go. You see that, like, callousness? And escorted me to the Fort Harrison where they badgered me for the money. Again, I lost my will and just wrote them a check. I gave them $25,000 from the condo sale. Clearwater police, like, they don't know anything about this, do they? Huh? 37. After this, I went to the bank, emptied the account, and I left for home. While I was at the airport in Miami, awaiting my connecting flight to Milan, I sat in the VIP waiting room having a coffee. I received a call. I was told there was someone crying on the phone. Immediately, I worried that it was my granddaughter and something was wrong at home. 38. The person crying on the phone was Chiara at Flag. She told me that Charmaine had locked her in a room. Oh, more kidnapping and imprisonment, because why not, you know? And was badgering her, telling her she had to give them $100,000 in my name for the Superpower Project. They wouldn't believe Chiara when she told them I was already gone. They told her to prove it, and thus Chiara was calling me. I then had to verify for Charmaine over the phone that I was indeed in Miami. Didn't Lisa McPherson donate $1 million as well? And I don't think that Lisa McPherson was made of the kind of money that this lady has. 39. Charmaine at once told me to return to Flag. I told her no. Finally, I was yelling into the phone. I told her I could not give her 1 penny more, and that if Chiara gave her the $100,000, I would not pay it back, but Charmaine would have to repay it herself. So it's starting to click that it's not a religion, everyone. 40. I returned to Italy. My life was very difficult now. I had little money and again had to sell property to pay my daily expenses. 41. In early 1995, I called Debbie Cook. I told her that now I needed help from her. I was an OT 8 class 4 auditor who had given over $1 million in Scientology, to Scientology. I never spoke to Debbie. Never once would she come on the phone to speak to me. A true narcissist. 42. Now I started to write to her. I also started writing CLO and phoning OSA in Italy and asking for my money back. You never get your money back in Scientology. And you know who's okay with that? Clearwater PD is okay with that. LAPD is okay with that. Feds are okay with that. FBI is okay with that. Homeland Security is okay with that. I mean, who else? I wrote and called many times saying I wanted all 1 million. I was ignored. I then decided to go to court. Well, that should go great. 43. My family attorney wrote to the CLO Italy. The response was for Flag to send Ellen Almquist. That's one of the guys earlier mentioned, must be his wife. To me in Italy to audit me. Oh, they want blackmail material. I refused to be audited. For 3 days she stayed at my home and tried to get me into session. I would not go. She finally went away. Shortly thereafter they sent another auditor, one whom I was very fond of and with whom I had previously worked. I still refused. In fact, when he prepared a room to audit me, I took a bottle of whiskey in with me and said, "Okay, I'm ready to audit." He soon left. People act like a bunch of programmed rats in here. I'm sorry. 44. In 1994, Debbie Cook bought a new $40,000 car. See more proof of crimes from Debbie Cook. She told me it was her FSM commission, as she was the FSM on my cycle. That must be field service manager? I don't know. This is against the policies of Scientology. Yeah, like any of them are really following it. As far as I know. In fact, everyone who worked on this gathering of the 1 million took commission from this. Except the kids in the Sea Org that don't get any money. 45. During this time, I started drinking too much just to forget all that I had been through. Now the CLO wrote to my attorney and said I had to get my money back from Flag, not them. My attorney then told me I could sue them back from Italy. When Flag found out I was suing, they started looking into my financial situation. At this point, I wanted all money I had given to Flag. So I called their attorney in Rome. They proposed a meeting with my attorney to come to some form of agreement. "46. Their attorney set the time of the meeting one day before a sale at my home to raise money on purpose. They had gone to a public registry and obtained information on my financial situation. 47. At this meeting in Rome, in their attorney's office, was myself, a person from CLO Italy, my attorney, the daughter of their attorney, a woman from OSA Flag, and a staff member from Roma Org. For the whole afternoon, we discussed the situation. In the end, the woman from OSA told me they knew I was in a terrible financial bind. Yeah, because they stole her money. And she offered me a check for 250 million lira, which is $180,000. She said, either I agree or I will get nothing. How is this any different from what the Italian mafia does? She spoke in English, and my attorney could not understand this. I was really at the point of losing the last of what I had. I asked the woman if I took the money, would I still be in good standing with the church? She said yes. They just tell you what we want to hear. I didn't want to go back, but I also didn't want them all against me. I felt they were dangerous people. Yeah. Yeah, they're allowed to commit crimes and get away with it. I also told her I still had $29,000 in my account at Flag, and I wanted that returned. She said I would still be able to get that returned per the church policy. 48. I then accepted the check. We agreed that I would then receive 2 more checks in the same amount. I signed an agreement which was in English. I don't think that's her first language either. I asked for a copy. They said it had to go to Flag, and they would send my copy with the second payment. They never sent it, and I still have never received a copy. They're really good for making people sign stuff that they don't even know what they're signing. It's exactly how, like a lot of the Hollywood executives make the young kids sign those contracts, and it's just so like illegal, the things that go on. 49. When the third payment arrived, it was for $240 million, not $250. I asked, where are the other 10 million liras? Their attorney said it had been given to my attorney. 50. Now, after I had received the money for repayment of half of what I had given for the Class 8 Italian project, I decided to get the money left on account at Flag. I called FSO and asked to come back. I was told that I could not return to Flag. I was not in good standing with the church. I soon also received a letter from the ship saying I was a refund. I think that's supposed to be there was a refund. I have never yet received a refund from the ship org. $51. I have been cheated by this organization. I want my money on accounts refunded. I want my money donated to the Superpower Project returned to me. I want the other $500,000 returned to me. I have written them and they are not willing to help me. They, in fact, have told me that I am trying to extort money from them. You see what they're doing, you guys? This is the black magic. They're inverting everything. They're actually extorting, but they're accusing her of extorting. I mean, it could be projection. I think they're purposely inverting everything, which is black magic. It's a lot of black magic anyways. I have written them and they are not willing to help me. They, in fact, have told me that I am trying to extort money from them. My attorney in Italy did say that the agreement had no legal standing in Italy. I declare under penalty of perjury under the laws of the United States of America and the state of Florida that the foregoing is true and correct. Executed in Clearwater, Florida, this 19th day of January 2001. Maria Pia Gardini.